Thank you very much to the lovely couple for speaking to us. I know I asked you guys to speak to me very last minute this morning, but at least it shows that you guys spend a lot of time together. So, because I think it didn't mean that Ayanda had to call Sandra or Sandra had to call Ayanda to say, come back home now, we've got an interview.
No, certainly not. And I mean, we like to speak a lot. Spend a lot of time together, obviously. So I think that's really one of the benefits of having someone close to you.
Okay, so 14 years, you know, you hear of a lot of people who say, I can't imagine myself with one person for so long, etc. How did you guys do it?
Oh, 14 years. Well, it's been fun. I think we went into marriage knowing that this is it. We have a joke that we tell each other, if you decide to leave, I'm coming with you. Nobody's staying. We decided that this is the commitment to each other, and we are making it, and we're going to do whatever it takes to make it work.
So, but I'm assuming patience is very important then, and trying to understand the next person and lower yourself sometimes emotionally. You know, when that person comes to you with high emotion, one of you has to at least go down, right?
Certainly. I think, yeah, there are a lot of patience. Well, of course, we learn over the years, and you must learn if you're going to keep the relationship healthy, that, yeah, you can't all be hot together at the same time. It just doesn't work. You've got to learn each other's behaviors, and be able to, if I would say, accommodate one another as best as you can. We all have emotions, we all have and want to get things for ourselves, and unfortunately in marriage that tends to not be the winning recipe if you're just looking out for yourself. So I think, yeah, it's one of the lessons that we've learned, sometimes a hard way in the early years especially.
Yeah.
And Sandra, you know, just to tell me about, you know, the advice that you might have for young people today, particularly young women. You know, we've obviously evolved as human beings. Women today are not exactly the same as women, for instance, 30 years ago. We are more career-driven. Sometimes we put on hold the whole childbearing thing because we want to have our careers first, etc. What advice would you have to them? Some of them are probably thinking, oh gosh, I've been alone for 2 years now. I'm probably never going to find somebody just because I have all of these material things.
I think the best advice I will give to anybody is be honest about what you want, about your values and your goals. Don't compromise them because you think I'm lonely and I want to marry this person, so I'm going to compromise the things that I really want in order not to be lonely. So I think be very clear about that. And also, you can't change a person. Be content with the person you're marrying. I always say to young women in my coaching as well that if you want to change someone, everything about them, you don't marry them. Choose what you can live with and choose what you can't live with. Obviously, we'll evolve in terms of character issues and careers and whatever, but choose someone that you don't want to change. If you want to change them, you are in for a war because nobody wants to be around someone that wants to change them all the time. Accept them as they are, as you accept yourself and the way you would want to be accepted. That is the number one advice. If you can't do that, don't get into a long-term relationship because it just causes for frustration.
Ayanda, let me come to you. Just tell us in the shortest way possible how the two of you met. How did you come to 14 years of marriage? And I don't know how long more before you got married were you dating?
We dated for a full 10 months before getting married. Something just connected. You find the one that is a friend that is easy to speak to. Conversation is easy. You enjoy their company, and I think it was probably our first or second date, and we spent 4 hours together at a restaurant, just chatting about everything and anything under the sun. And I think it was probably after that second or third date that I just felt. That's a person I want to spend the rest of my life with.
So it didn't take you long then to decide that this is it?
Maybe about 2 weeks.
And how did you feel when he popped the question? Did you reciprocate the same feelings, or did you think, oh my goodness, I've only known you for 10 months?
No, we were really good mates before then. And I'm not a believer in dating for too long. I think for me personally, it's a waste of time. If we're gonna do this, let's do it and learn together. So when he asked me to be his girlfriend or woman friend, as he used to call me, I said to him, I'm only doing this if we're gonna get married. If we're not gonna get married, I don't have time to play. I really didn't have the time or the energy. I'd been in a relationship before that took too long, wasted my time, wasted my energy, my emotional, mental health. I said to him, if we're gonna do this, we're doing this. If you're not here for marriage, please leave. I don't have time to waste.
Ayanda, I did ask Sandra for advice for women, right? Women of today. But also there's advice that men need as well. We are living in a nation, for instance, where GBV and other things are quite serious and concerning. But at the same time, you have men in society who feel as though they've been forgotten. Everything is about the girl child, and then they become frustrated, etc. So there's this tug of war, right, between the two genders. What advice would you give to young men today, not to fall prey to ending up thinking you own a woman?
Sure. I mean, that's a question that we probably could spend a day at least talking about. And unfortunately, for many of us, it's one that is closer to home than what we would prefer. I think the advice I would give, one of the many ways, is advice that I got myself in my early years before getting married. And that was to prefer your wife or prefer your spouse. Meaning that, when other things are going on in life and the guys are going out for drinks, your mind must be to prefer your wife, to prefer her presence, to prefer her friendship. And that is, I think, a formula or advice that I'd give to anybody out there. If you're not choosing to prefer the one that you're with, you're inevitably going to run yourselves into problems. And when it comes to issues of gender-based violence, I mean, we know how big an issue this is. And I think particularly for us males, and more so for black males, it is an issue that it's an endemic, as we say, and we need to be able to find help and be able to talk and deal with the issues that affect us, issues of fatherlessness, of feeling abandoned, etc., etc. We need to fix ourselves and address the issues that affect us. Go to therapy, find a person to speak to. I mean, there's so much to be said around the subject, but really, I think if anything from this, prefer the one that you're with.
That's actually really good advice. Even I'm sure some of my friends who are watching us right now are probably like, oh, I should ask him if he prefers spending time with me or with his friends. All right, I know I might get you guys in trouble.
To the guys, of course.
Yes. So I know I might get you into trouble, especially you, Ayanda, in terms of what is planned for tomorrow. Are you guys able to tell us what you'll be doing for Valentine's Day?
I've got a work trip tomorrow. So our Valentine's was yesterday.
Yes.
We spent the entire day together, went for massages, for lunch, a takeaway. We sent the kids to their grandparents and spent the rest of the day together watching movies, which you don't get to do these days.
Yeah, that was a great Valentine. Watching movies without three little people disturbing you, that is the best Valentine gift I could have ever had.
I can imagine. I can really imagine. And Sandra, I just want to end with you. A lot of people would say that Valentine's Day is about the man spoiling the woman. And I think I had the conversation with my sister yesterday. She's going on a date for the first time with a boy that she just met a few months ago. And she was wondering, well, he asked me to be his Valentine, so do I bring him something? I think it's fair, right, for people to bring each other something and celebrate each other on that day, but also at the same time, the importance of realizing that your relationship is important on any other day, not just the 14th of February.
I agree. I think the mistake that people make is you put so much pressure on the 14th of February. But for me, love is an everyday act, choosing the other person above yourself every day, choosing to be your spouse's, your partner's Valentine every day, even when they don't deserve it, actually. But choosing them over yourself every day, I think that's what makes a healthy marriage. That's why we have been able to to be together for 14 years. I'm not talking about keeping quiet and no, let's not go extreme. I'm talking just choosing the other person above yourself every single day. And please get them a gift and spoil them. In as much as you'd want to be spoiled, spoil them too.
I see your nails are also red there, Sandra. Was it in the theme of the month of love?
Yes, and it's my favorite color. So Ayanda always asks me when I get my nails done, please, can you do red? So red is our color. That's why we live in love.
All right, to another 14 years and a lifetime together. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on ENCA. Ayanda and Sandra Zaca, a couple that's been together for 14 years, and I hope I did my part in bringing you some advice from them if you're a person in a young relationship. And I just want to say to my person, I hope you choose me over your friends, because this is how I'll judge you from now on.